Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the least professional show on YouTube. We are Toxic Masculinity, and we're ready to be toxic and masculine both at the same time. Jason, say hi to the audience. That was a thumbs up for the blind listeners. Well, listen. So both of us had fairly busy days today.
Yes.
My day was actually night because I'm in Bali. So I didn't prepare any stories, and Jason inexplicably didn't prepare any stories. But I haven't asked him why his day was busy, but he's looking for stories right now. So he's going to do that. Well, I discuss the fact that the left has been attacking little old me. Little old me.
I've heard that.
I'm just an innocent little YouTuber. Why would you attack me, evil leftists? Well, we're going to get into that and a lot more on today's episode of Toxic Masculinity. Listen, it's been a crazy news cycle, right? I mean, it's been completely crazy. Like, I've been trying to get videos out for a few weeks, and every time I come up with a new video and I put a bunch of energy in it, and I put a bunch of time into it, I do a bunch of research, suddenly it becomes totally irrelevant like the next day. Like, as soon as I'm going to get the video out, suddenly it's like, boom, it just like disappears from the news cycle because there's some other new big story, right? So we had the debate, and the debate was really the great turning point in American culture in 2024 because everybody realized, everybody who hadn't figured it out already, that the left, that the Biden administration, that Kamala Harris, that everybody that, has any kind of like critical role in the federal government, who has any knowledge about Joe Biden at all, and the media, they've all been lying to the American people. They've been saying that Joe Biden is just fine. He's perfect. He's better than he's ever been. He's the best Joe Biden we've ever seen. Okay. Well, those of us paying attention knew that was absolute nonsense. But there were a lot of leftists who believed that, right? They had their hearts set on a Joe Biden presidency, a second term, because, we can't let that fascist Donald Trump in, right? But then they've realized in the debate, holy crap, the Republicans were right. They were actually telling us the truth, and the Democrats were lying to us. And I think that woke a lot of people up, freaked a lot of people out. And I'm like, okay, fantastic. That's great. And I decided to do this big video, which I think I'm still going to put out, actually. I'm going to figure out a way to put this video out. I did this big video. I decided to do this big video, all this research into, I was going to fact check the fact checkers, right? So the fact checkers came in and they said, maybe Joe Biden was a little slow that day. Maybe he was had a little bit of an off day. But Donald Trump lied. He lied, right? That's what they kept saying. MSNBC kept saying it. There's a very first thing that Jill Biden, his psychopathic wife, said after the debate. That was the first thing she said. Trump lied. So that was the narrative that they went with, right? And so I thought, you know what? Let's go with this. Let's fact check the fact checkers, because they said that Trump lied 53 times in the debate. So I checked. Well, they said 50. One group said 50. CNN said a bunch, and I sort of put them together, and I found 53 so-called lies that Trump made. So I went through and I looked through all 53, and I won't tell you exactly what my conclusion was, but let me just say this. In a very simple cursory glance of what Joe Biden said, yeah, no, Trump did not lie. Joe Biden lied, because the left is the side of the liars and Trump is the side of the truth tellers. I was just on Newsmax just a minute ago, Rob Schmidt Tonight, and I was asked about the left and how they're now trying to sort of gaslight everybody into thinking that Kamala Harris is some amazing political figure, the goddess of the left now. And I said, look, they think that we're stupid. That's the problem. That's why they're going to lose. The left thinks we're stupid. They put out all this nonsense.
They think all the voters are like Democrat voters.
Well, that's just it. And the thing is, like, I don't even think Democrats are as stupid as they think that they are. I don't even think Democrats are that stupid.
I have to disagree.
Well, some are that stupid, of course. Some are that stupid, of course. And some Republicans are that stupid. Let's be honest. It's a much smaller group. It's a much smaller number. I would say it's probably over 50% of Democrats are pretty dumb, but I would say that they're more gullible than dumb. Like I've met some
Yeah.
very high IQ Democrat voters who are just very gullible. They're just very willing to believe what the left says. And the great thing about that is that once they're woken up to things, they're offended. They're offended because they hear the left lying to them, and it's like infantilizing, right? It's like they're treating them like children. And they're like, look, okay, I don't mind you exaggerating a little bit. I don't mind you telling a little fib here and there, or kind of maybe distorting the truth. I know that politicians do that, but don't like outright lie to my face. Don't sit there and try to tell me that, you know, that Swalwell came out yesterday and he goes, Kamala Harris, you know, she's just so authentic. He didn't use the word authentic, but he's like, she loves to dance. She loves to cook, you know? He's basically presenting her as if she's like this real person that is like super relatable.
Well,
it's like
what they're doing is trying to fight that stigma that she has on her, that she's fake and all that. So they're just doing it now because even that tweet or that video of her celebrating what was it, Kwanzaa or something like that. Like
I just posted that on Twitter.
Yeah, you posted that exactly,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's how fake is that? Like she's celebrating a fake holiday. A fake person is celebrating a fake holiday because who the hell celebrates that? All my black friends don't celebrate that.
No, nobody does.
So even though she's trying not to be fake, she's still fake. Yeah. It's.
But listen,
and I think that's what they're trying to fight.
Kamala, let me just tell you this real quick. Kamala, Gorka just texted me, dude, don't you need a nap? I definitely do need a nap, and I'm actually scheduled to play tennis after this, so I don't even know how I'm gonna survive that.
Gorka, are you trying to say that he should not do this show anymore? That are you giving us a hint here? Stop doing this show.
Well, because you don't understand what happened. So last night I did a bit. Oh my God, I've been doing so many shows I can't even tell you. And Kamala Harris produced her first ad campaign. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or ad campaign. Her first campaign ad is what I mean.
I
haven't gotten any sleep, right?
The pandering ad. Yeah.
The pandering ad with the gay flags and everything.
Yeah.
So she comes out with this like ridiculous ad. And I think, okay, this is a good opportunity to make a satirical parody of the ad, right? So I was actually working on a different video, which I did post this morning. And excuse me, and it's done really, really poorly. It's like it's done poorer than like any video I've ever posted. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if YouTube is just like super suppressing anything about Kamala Harris now. Like anything that a YouTuber posts about Kamala Harris, they're just like suffocating it. Because I cannot seem to get, I'm going to try to post a Kamala Harris video without saying Kamala Harris. And we'll see how it goes because they are really suffocating these videos, I think. I don't know what's going on. Or maybe you guys aren't watching them. I don't know. Like we now have like one of the lowest numbers of live viewers we've ever had. So I don't know what's going on.
Chris, you're a target. If Media Matters is watching your stuff and wants to make an article on you, then you're on the target. Like there's and they have a direct.
Jason, spoiler alert! Spoiler! I didn't even talk about that yet.
I was just gonna say that they have a direct connect to YouTube, but
yeah. Well, listen. Yeah, I think you're probably right. No, Media Matters does try to shut people down. I mean, they are an absolutely despicable organization. They're just like the hitmen of the left, really, over there. Media Matters. They're disgusting. Let's talk about that. Actually, I was waiting until we got some more eyes on our show, but let's go ahead and talk about that because, Media Matters has come out and they've targeted little old me. Little old me. Hold on. I'm trying to share my screen here with you guys. All right, here we go. So now they've come out and they've said, Newsmax guest, that's me, urges right-wing critics of Kamala Harris to keep attacking her laugh and her style. They're saying that I encouraged conservatives to keep attacking Kamala's laugh and her style. And technically this is true. But let's go ahead and watch this video. This is me and Sebastian Gorka on this is Rob Schmidt tonight. He's guest hosting. And I went on there the other day and this is what I said.
Okay, now Chris, over the years I've known you, you're a dear friend of mine. I won't say you're a ladies' man, but romance is important to you. So I want you to just qualify for me this next clip. I still don't know who Donny Deutsch is. I'm in media now for at least a decade. I have no idea who this person is, but I think he's got a new love in his life. Listen to Donny Deutsch.
I was blown away. I was like, I kind of fell in love with her. I thought she was smart, engaging. She's funny, feisty, twinkle in your eye, punch you in the gut. I mean, everything you kind of want. And I just thought it was a great, great opening act.
I think he's in love with Kamala, but I'm not sure of the twinkle in the eye and then punch you in the gut. Is that how Democrats do romance, Chris? Help me out.
I think so. I'm pretty sure his name is pronounced douche. Douche. I think it's French. Anyway, yeah, Rick Riddell was on earlier talking about how we need to focus on Kamala's the substance of her arguments because she's so far left. And we should steer away from criticizing her laugh or her style. I completely disagree. Why not all three? Because Kamala is hilarious. I think it's going to be difficult not to talk about her style. She is one of the most stiff politicians. She's so artificial. You know, she constantly goes on like black radio shows and pretends to be down with the homies, even though she grew up Indian. It's now trending on X right now. The term "she's Indian" is trending on Twitter right now because she's such a phony. And I think that's going to be something that we can't avoid talking about. All right, so that's my hit on Newsmax, and let me just say I am so proud of that hit on Newsmax. And why am I proud of it? I'm proud of it because I said the word douche on national television in reference to Donny Deutsch, and also I made the point that Kamala Harris pretends to be down with the homies. In fact, they've quoted that here. Chris Coles, I've got my name here. Harris constantly goes on like black radio shows and pretends to be down with the homies, even though she grew up Indian. And here's the story. You want to actually read the story? Let's go down. There's no story. They've just quoted me and nothing. All they want you to do is read the headline and think that I'm some kind of evil racist or something like that, right? Or that I'm really petty, that I want people to go after her laugh and style. Obviously, I'm joking around here a little bit, right? I'm joking around. But I'm making the point that Kamala Harris is just very phony. She's just very artificial. I think it's a reasonable point to make. That's my perception of Kamala Harris. I think that's the perception of most Americans. But Media Matters turns it into this massive hit job. But this was great. I mean, Gorka sent me this article, and I just thought, you know what? You know you've made it. They've tried to hit me before. I mean, I think I've been hit by Media Matters several times. But this was a good one. This was fun for me. I love this. I really love this. What are your thoughts on me calling Donny Deutsch Donny Douche and saying that Kamala Harris tries to pretend that she's down with the homies? What do you think about that, Jason? Am I a genius or what?
Yes, that was perfect. It's funny because now all these Democrats are gonna read that and watch that video, and they're gonna put douche to his name now. So perfect.
I certainly hope so.
I went into the link too, and then I saw that I was like, "Where's the rest of the article? What happened? There's no rebuttal.
Right?
There's nothing." I'm like, "What are they supporting what he's saying?" Or and
I know it's unclear.
Too. Yeah, and then the headline made no sense either. Like I couldn't understand the headline. Like it was weird.
Right, you have to.
Yeah, so you have to go down and see what you actually said to actually understand what they were saying in the headline. But then I thought, then I thought, this is why Mr. Reagan is getting low views in YouTube. This is why he's
maybe
you're screwed because Media Matters has all the connections. Media Matters knows all
they have a lot of power,
people.
a lot more. Jason knows. I mean, this is true. Media Matters has a lot of influence and power over who gets censored and who doesn't online. It's absolutely true. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's like I've said it before. You're marked, so they're gonna try to silence you as much as they want. Because I see other channels worse, that say worse things than not worse, but actually say facts like you do. But they go like crazy, and
they're more
they get huge views. They get huge views, but they're new. they're not from back in the day like you. So yeah.
Yeah, when I started my channel, I started right when they were doing the sort of like second apocalypse, I think it was, or something. And yeah, I was just immediately put on a list, and I've been on that list forever. And
what I want, I remember, wasn't Elon Musk like suing them and stuff? That I want to know the result. I want that to happen. Like I for it to go to court and all that stuff. And these people need to be destroyed. It's like that video, the interview he had with Jordan Peterson, where he goes like, I'm gonna like kill the woke. Have you seen that video?
I haven't seen it, but
when I saw that video, I was like, whoa. Like you have somebody.
Oh, you're talking about Elon Musk. No, not I'm going to kill the woke. I'm not going to. He didn't say I'm going to kill it. Destroy. Yeah, but he basically said, yeah, this is my mission now.
Yeah,
because they basically turned his kid trans and like basically they said that his child is dead. Like they killed his kid basically because this kid's no longer his son. He's now this trans guy that he doesn't understand, he doesn't know, he doesn't realize. He feels like they stole his son from him, and so he has decided to go on a mission to essentially destroy the woke mind virus, as he calls it, which I think is amazing.
What I got from that was you had a guy that was on their side at one point, and they just got so crazy. They got so crazy with this trans stuff, the crazy stuff, the abortion, the murdering babies, and they've like they didn't realize the backlash that is coming from that, that would come from that. And when Elon Musk said that, I was like, okay, it's happening. Like there's gonna be a turnaround.
Seb just texted me. He goes, I love Media Matters because they always transcribe my shows, and I don't have money for transcribers. He's like, they're so lazy. That's all they do. All they do is transcribe the shows. And he said that Elon Musk specifically said, yes, destroy the woke mind virus, which I've just said. But he's obviously throwing that out there, which I think is fantastic. Should we look at this Clyburn clip that you posted?
Yeah.
I think this looks really interesting. I haven't seen it, but let's go ahead and watch this video here. This is Representative James Clyburn, a Democrat from South Carolina. He's a real piece of work. Let's watch this.
And for more on that, Congressman Clyburn joins us now. Thank you so much for coming on Morning Joe this morning, sir. Congressman, if you could talk, I'm sure you would like to say a few words about your friend, Joe Biden, and then take us forward. Tell us why you believe Kamala Harris can prosecute the case against Donald Trump.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Mika. Joe Biden I've known for a long, long time. We started developing a relationship over our efforts to really make Brown v. Board of Education work. And we talked about the similarities in our states. South Carolina and Delaware were two of the 5 states that give us Brown v. Board of Education. And we learned a lot about each other, about our states, our constituents, and we started developing ways to go about addressing those issues. I found in him to be one of the most selfless public servants I'd ever dealt with. A real patriot when it comes to what this country is all about, and one who understood government almost vicariously. You could talk to him about an issue, he could give you a proposed resolution that seemed almost effortless. And so I think all this foolishness about him not being able to serve out his term is craziness. It's a big difference in running the government and running the campaign. Joe Biden was not up to what it took to respond to sound bites when you're trying to solve problems around the world. He is a great problem solver, and I believe he will go down in history as one of the best and most consequential presidents we've ever had. I've heard you all mention.
Oh my
Harry
gosh,
Truman
this guy
morning.
just never stops, does he?
I
He was
used
gonna
to
talk.
teach very often.
Sorry, go on. Yeah.
No, I was gonna wait till he says about the food because that's the funny part.
All right. Let's
Go into to the Oval Office, and you would have all these big pictures of Kennedy and other people, and then there was a little bust of Harry Truman, and I would always
Anyway,
say,
yeah, cut him off. Stop the tape.
Hold on. You just said let him go, and I'm like doing all this stuff.
I could just read it.
All right. Let's just read it. Hold on.
So on Monday's broadcast of MSNBC Morning Joe, Representative James Clyburn argued that people focused on the rising price of food, but President Joe Biden couldn't do anything about grocery prices. People focused on the rising price of food, yes, but he countered that he couldn't do anything about those grocery prices, but he could do something about the pharmaceutical prices, and he drove down the price of pharmaceuticals in a way that no president has ever done. And once again, when Harry Truman left the presidency, he said the one thing that he regretted was not being able to deliver universal health care, blah, 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 blah. Man, just a bunch of crappy stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing to say, right? Like, why did he have no control whatsoever? I mean, he caused the inflation. He caused the gas prices to go up.
Yep.
Like, I mean, this is obviously this is the same thing I was talking about on Newsmax. It's they think we're stupid.
Yeah. Everybody knows the main problem that started everything was him getting rid of all of Trump's policies with the gas and oil, you know? And once he did that, and gas and oil went up, that is what caused everything, food to skyrocket, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that was a disaster.
Did he make this statement recently, like in the last couple of days, like since Joe Biden's been gone?
Yeah, this is 23rd of July, so yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so why does he even care to discuss this crap?
True.
Like we're dealing with Kamala at this point. Like, why are you lying about Joe Biden? There's this weird idea, like they've got to create some kind of crazy legacy for Joe Biden. And it's like,
yeah,
why? He's a useless piece of human garbage that stole money from the American people, that took bribes from Ukraine. Let me tell you how the Ukraine thing worked, by the way. Just real quick. His son worked for Burisma, which is a Ukrainian gas company. He took billions of mostly American dollars through the IMF, fed it into Ukraine. A lot of those billions of dollars went into Burisma. Okay, bye, Jason. Went into Burisma, and then that money went to his son, and then got cycled back into his own bank account. So Joe Biden was literally siphoning money out of the American tax pool, a pool of tax money that we have that was supposed to go to international aid. So this is why international aid is so bad.
Yeah,
because so much of it just disappears into the pockets of these oligarchs, including our own oligarchs here in America. Oh my God! These corrupt degenerates just piss me off. Yes, everybody has sympathy for Joe Biden because he's senile, right? But oh my God, we got a bunch of super chats. I didn't even click on the thing. Mexican Iron Man is in the house. Mexican Iron Man, I missed you, man. Holy crap! He says, I heard a rumor that this is the channel where I can find some good old fashioned racism. What's up, fellow right-wing extremists? Yes. I love Iron Man.
Racism.
It's been a while, man. I haven't seen you in a while, but yeah, we've I think we were talking about you the other day on like one of those, what was it, Salty Nerd or something like that, or Popcast. Curtis jumps in. Curtis KD5AYY. I haven't got a lot of sleep, guys. $100. Oh my gosh, Curtis, thank you so much. He says, hey, dude, sorry I haven't been here. YouTube suspended my ability to comment for violating hate speech policy, but not telling me how. Shake my effing head. Yeah, for real. What the heck, man? That's terrible. Well, I'm glad that you're back. We've missed you. This is, after all, the Curtis KD5AYY live stream. We never really officially renamed it, but it's it's subtly renamed. It's quietly renamed that. Big Lou 85 jumps in with $20. He says, "What's up, guys? I just want to show my support. I can't stay long. I'm going to go watch Destiny get destroyed by Andrew Wilson in a debate if January 6th was an insurrection." Oh, my God. Why is that even a question? P.S. I might have sent this twice. Well, thank you so much, Big Lou 85. I would never recommend anybody go watch that degenerate piece of crap on the left. He's a total
Isn't he
weirdo.
like canceled?
I don't know. The guy's a weird guy. He was spiraling a little while ago. Sebastian Gorka went on and like just obliterated him, and it's kind of hard to watch actually.
The other day he said that he's joking about the guy that died in the Trump rally.
Oh, was he? Oh, what a piece of that guy is. I don't even want to think about that guy. He's so weird and gross. Yes Man jumps in $10. He says, "Has anyone ever been wait, hold on. Has anyone ever been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like?" You just write that just to like freak me out.
I read that earlier, and I'm like, Chris is gonna have a fun time reading that one.
I mean, I know I didn't sleep last night, but you know, like I feel like I'm short circuiting reading this. This is
people in the comments. People in the chat were going off on him, like somebody was saying word salad.
I like.
People were going.
Okay,
off.
so apparently Kamala Harris is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on here.
That's what it is. That's a good one.
You're right.
That's what it is.
Thumper, the sweaty fat guy's back in it. Hey, Thumper, it's good to see you, brother. He writes, "If you think government-run healthcare is a good idea, talk to a crippled vet. I can tell you all about it and how much it changes from red to blue." Oh, fascinating. That's really a very interesting thing. Yeah, because that is, veterans do use government-run healthcare. My grandfather went to the Veterans Hospital all the time when I was growing up, but it was always some kind of weird wait, some kind of weird hassle. It was always very difficult. That's interesting. Well, thank you guys for all the super chats. We appreciate it. If you guys want to say anything on the show, we will read it out loud if you send us a super chat. But let's move on from weird Clyburn, which ended up being a really long video and really boring and terrible, and I'm sorry about that. Let's go ahead and move on from that to what do we got next? We got something else.
I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to tell you because about our talk we had the other day. I was thinking maybe it'll be interesting with the audience, with the chat.
Just the crap that we were saying that I said that you said you were going to forget, and I said, well, you've got it all written down, so it should be easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going through it, and I remember about Joe Biden stepping down before the election.
Because I had this theory, and I presented it to you guys last week. Didn't I present it last last Monday? I mean, did I present it on Monday here on the show?
I'm not sure. You want me to remember that far away?
Just in case nobody remembers, I presented this theory that I have that in October that Joe Biden will step down as president. And the reason I think this is because I think Donald Trump is so dominant in the news cycle. He knows how to dominate the news so well that they're going to need something in October to switch the conversation from Trump to Kamala Harris. And I think that Kamala Harris is going to get absolutely obliterated in the debate. There's going to be a debate. She'll get obliterated. Nobody will be talking about her in a positive way. They're all going to be talking about Trump. So she needs the news to focus on her and focus on her in a positive way. And she needs the news to be completely saturated so there's no air in the room for Trump news to breathe, and it's just all suffocated and all shoved out. And I think the way you do that is Joe Biden steps down and Kamala Harris takes his place as the next president of the United States of America. She becomes the first woman president in the United States, woman of color as well. They could say that as well. And that is huge news. That's huge news, right? So number 47, you guys can go ahead and screenshot this, whatever you need to do. I've written it on Twitter, so it's there. I'm not planning on deleting it ever. I believe that Kamala Harris will be the 47th president, which is so sad. I don't want it to be true. It makes me sick thinking about it.
I wrote back to, I was
like, be president.
I was like, I would hate that she would be the first female president.
Isn't that awful?
Because she'd be in the history books forever. As the first.
She will be.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And just the thought of that, like, I remember.
Let me throw this in here real quick. Mikey 79 jumped in. He said, "Thoughts on Kim Cheadle finally dropping out?" We could just cover this real quick. This woman is useless. She should never have been hired. The fact that it took her so long to resign is disgusting. But whatever, she's gone. Moving on. I don't ever want to talk about the woman who guarded the bags of Cheetos ever again. What do you think, Jason?
No, I mean, she shouldn't have resigned. She should have been fired, is what I've always said.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there should be investigation into her and what she was doing.
Yeah, one
because she had this idea like they wanted to make 30% of the Secret Service women. Like for what? I don't even understand that. They're human shields.
Yeah.
You want more women to die? Like I don't get it. I didn't understand that. She's an idiot. Anyway, glad she's gone. She's the biggest DEI hire ever. So, okay, the third biggest DEI hire ever after Kamala Harris and Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, but you know,
Kamala Harris, Karine Jean-Pierre, and this chick.
You know the reason why she resigned? I don't think she would have resigned, but I think the Democrats. She resigned because Democrats. Because the Democrats were like, this doesn't look good, you know, for the election. If she stays, it's not going to look good for us, you know. So she has to go. So the Democrats started like saying that she needs to resign. And once that happened,
you got a good point, Jason.
It was
over.
You
got a good point. I think you might be right. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. So my theory is that Joe Biden will step in, Joe Biden will resign from the presidency. Kamala Harris will step in. It makes me sick to think about, but it's such a smart move. I can't imagine they wouldn't do it, especially if there's a big news thing with Trump or if he dominates in the debates. I think those are the two reasons why they would do it. They're waiting for their moment. That's what I think. Anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Jason?
Well, I think, that's a good possibility of him dropping out. I'm really scared of that. I really don't want that to happen. You know, I also meant to talk to you about like it's so disappointing because like if you look at our presidents, let's say before the 90s, okay, if you look at our presidents, it's like these great men, whether they were Republican, Democrat, you know, you might not. I don't agree with a lot of the presidents before then. Like I'm not a fan of Franklin Roosevelt. I'm not a fan of him, you know, because he started all the issues here in this country. But you know, he was a wartime president. He really did good during that time. I mean, these people and the way they spoke, the way they talked, the speeches they made, you could see these people were not the average person. They were high IQ, good people, you know, and leaders. They were leaders. And then you look at the presidents since like the late 2000s to now, and then you're looking at Kamala. Like, think about it. This person, Kamala, can possibly become the president of the United States of America. Kamala, this dummy, this one that got to where she is. You know how she got to the way she is through, you know. We call it in Hollywood, we call it the casting couch. But so, when I was on Newsmax, just that, you know how I had said at the top of the show, I showed that I said that Donnie Deutsch is Donnie Douche, and I'm like, I'm not even sure Newsmax is ever going to have me on again. But no, today I said something even worse, I think, actually, because Seb Gorka comes on, you know, he's talking about how he's hosting the show, right? And he's like, the left is like prostituting themselves out for this narrative, you know, because they're obviously lying. So they're prostituting themselves out. And Gorka does have this way of sort of subtly laying these hints out there of like what he's really saying. He's very clever about that. But I took the bait and I go, you're cutting a little close to the bone there with the prostitute analogy. And I said this on live television, you know, national television. I'm just like, why am I saying this? Am I out of my mind? Like, I just called Donnie Deutsch douchebag, and I'm saying like Kamala Harris is a prostitute. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, you know, that's because for those who don't know, she dated the mayor of San Francisco, this guy named Willie Brown, who was a complete degenerate. Willie Brown, basically because he was sleeping with Kamala Harris,
appointed her positions in the federal
Yep.
government. She eventually
Yep.
ran for, I think it was the state prosecutor or something like that. And she ended up winning like Attorney General of California or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly what her original major job was, but she moved up the ranks that way. But it was essentially she was dating powerful men. I think she dated
Montel Williams
for a little bit. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. She's just a very ambitious woman, and she's not afraid to do what it takes.
Yeah.
To
but
climb the ladder.
Yeah.
If you will.
But think about it. Like, she can't put a sentence together. She can't put a speech together.
Right.
Like, it's clown show. Like this person can actually possibly become the president of the United States. Like, how far have we come from George Washington, Abraham Lincoln? I'm trying to think of a recent one. Ronald Reagan.
Jason, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you because my brother Nick, he's probably going to be mad at me for saying this, but he presented me with the best insight into this situation. He says, listen, you know what? If Kamala Harris becomes the president, she will be the highest paid prostitute ever in history. I was like, Nick, what are you saying here, buddy? But I was like, that's pretty funny, man. I don't even know if she's going to be the highest paid, but she'll certainly be.
Yeah.
She got a lot out of that job. Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's incredible. I mean, if you think about it, like Biden, then Kamala. I mean, we started going downhill when Clinton was elected, but man, at least Clinton could make a speech. At least he could relate to people. But it's a joke now, and that's just
actually
my pessimism is coming out because of this.
I know. You're getting even more black pill. Seb Gorka jumps in and he goes, this is such a good point from Jason. The quality of politicians, even on the left, 100 years ago was stellar. Today, they're all clowns and evil, but they are clowns. And that's so true. And it's really kind of weird, actually, that it's like that. Because I understand kind of why with the DEI stuff and everything like that. But, like, they don't really have to hire people that are this dumb. They don't have to hire people that are this incompetent. It seems to me like if you needed a black lesbian as your press secretary, couldn't you do better than Karine Jean-Pierre? It's
exactly.
Like they're not even picking the best black lesbian.
Exactly.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that meme I made with her like this is the new Baghdad Bob. It's like we've become like Iraq or something. Like it's wild. We're the United States of America,
it's just on the left. Crazy... I think on the right we're still doing pretty good, actually. But
they put in Mike Johnson, so I have to disagree.
All right, Mike G. God, your obsession with Mike Johnson. But look, here's the thing about Kamala and Biden and Joe Biden. I really think with Joe Biden in particular, I think Joe Biden he was the best puppet, right? He was the perfect puppet. Yeah. So to me, that makes sense. Actually, you're going to get somebody who's a bit incompetent if they're the best puppet. I think Kamala was actually put in as vice president because they knew they could control her as well. The cackling Kamala. I think that they liked her because she was controllable. Hillary was also controllable. They could control her. I think, if you listen to what Patrick Byrne said, if you believe that guy, and I actually believe him, she was totally controlled by the FBI. That's why they wanted her in. So yeah, I think all these people, I think they're controlled. I think that's why they get in, and to get into that position where you are totally controlled, you can't be the sharpest tool in the shed to get into that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why that's happening. But down the chain, I don't understand why they're so dumb.
No, I agree with you. That is a big reason why we're getting the quality of politicians we're getting now, because the people in charge, are real people in charge, want people that they can easily manipulate, easily bribe, and easily control. I agree, and yeah. So, but I mean, come on, still they could do better. I mean, it's just
Come on, man, this is malarkey, I think is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
We have some other news. Let's see here. This is from Breitbart. Shall I open this up for the people, or should we keep talking about this? you have other stuff to say, my friend?
Yeah, the other things we were talking about too, which I thought was good.
Oh yeah, let's go through the whole conversation.
You were saying like she's a sacrificial lamb.
That
I think they know they're going to lose, which I agree with you. And then I think they're going to pull something off, something bad, And
Gorka hates me saying this. Gorka hates me saying this because he's like, look, we cannot say that Trump has this in the bag.
Yeah,
even if Democrats are genuinely like, you know what, we got to just accept Trump's going to win because, especially after he got shot, I think a lot of Democrats went, holy crap.
Yeah.
Mythic hero born, American legend just born in front of our eyes. Like, how are we going to compete with that? Like, I think we're done. They got rid of Biden. They threw Kamala in there. They're like, okay, who can we put in? Because I think they needed to get rid of Biden because Biden was so obviously going to lose that I think that there's a certain level of believability in bringing in a candidate who they don't really expect to win. They still want that level of believability where people are thinking that they're actually trying still. And I don't think with Biden, anybody could even believe that it is even possible he could win. So I think they needed somebody who they thought, okay, we're going to lose no matter who we bring in. So who can we bring in that's at least believable, but who doesn't matter in 4 years, who we can kind of sacrifice now. And then in 4 years, it won't matter because they're not going to be in the running. And the obvious choice, I think, was Kamala Harris. But Gorka hates me saying that. And the reason he hates me saying that is because he needs everybody to remember that the Democrats will still cheat.
Yeah.
And so we need to get out and vote so we can beat the cheat still. We can't sit on our laurels and go, oh, you know what? Trump's got this in the bag. Yeah. We're fine. We have to vote. We still have to vote, like massively. We still have to vote. So
I think there could be something worse. I think there could be something worse. Like your point about her replacing Biden as president actually can bring in other things like they could start a war with Russia. Like my thing is I know a lot of people say this and they always say it all the time, like martial law and all that stuff. But I think there's a possibility now because everything that they've done. Why not this now?
Was it you elections? Was it you that said that to me, or was it somebody else? Did you text that to me?
Yeah, I text that to you. Okay. I think whatever they're gonna try to stop the election, because the cheat. I don't know if they can cheat now as good as they did in 2020, and especially now that they're putting just got rid of Biden. But like starting a war with Russia or something, like a full blown war. We're in war,
bro. It's not like honestly, it's not a bad theory. Like I kind of got mad at you the other day because I think we were on the phone and I'm like, Jason, I'm supposed to be the smart one on the show. Stop coming up with good theories. This is a really dark theory, but it actually is something I kind of believe could be possible. And it's not because I think it's like a likely thing that could happen, but I think it's plausible in the sense that the Democrats, they really don't care anymore. They will do anything to hold on to power and to keep Trump out. And the idea that Kamala Harris would then become president and then she would somehow declare martial law or stop the election, I don't think it's likely, but they're definitely not beneath doing it,
Yeah. Or like the best scenario the best scenario that I hope happens is that they know they're going to lose. They lose the election. And, in 4 years, like I said this before in the show, that they're just going to reorganize the Democrat Party, brand it new. And I was watching where was it?
Yeah.
I was watching who was saying it. Somebody was saying it. They were Biden's speech the other night, last night. Biden's speech. How did he open his speech? Saying that he already started what I said that they were going to do in 4 years. He was already saying that they got to move to a younger, new people, and I'm like, he's saying what I said that my strategy.
Yeah, but he was saying that back in 2020 as well. He was saying that back in 2020.
But they're already going that angle. I think they're going to go reorganize the Democrat Party. They're going to say it's going to be a new, young, moderate party, and that's where I hope they're going. That they just feel like.
All right, hold on. I'm getting checked here from Gorka. He goes, dude, she cannot be a sacrificial lamb and the best puppet after Biden. Okay, this is true. Let me clarify what I mean here. Look, it's possible they do want her to be in, and she is the best puppet after Biden. But the reality is, I don't actually think that's true. I think she is potentially an okay puppet. I don't know if she's the best puppet. I think actually Hillary's probably their best puppet.
Yeah.
I don't know who the best puppet is after Biden. I'm sure they have a bunch of them lined up. But I think she's got to be the sacrificial lamb and here's why I think she's the sacrificial lamb, because she is literally who I would pick to go up against Trump. If you told me we're getting rid of Biden, Chris, you get to pick who the next Democrat candidate is to go after Trump, who's the easiest for him to beat, I'd be like, can we get Kamala? And they go, yep, we can. Yes. Okay. Bring in Kamala. Because like, she is the easiest one to beat. Why would they pick her? I do kind of understand there's some like concern about how they were going to be able to transfer some of the money from some of the donors, because legally they're not allowed to take the donor money for Biden and just shift it to the next random candidate, because legally people are donating money specifically for a specific candidate. They're donating money for Biden. They're not donating money for the Democrat candidate. They're donating money for Biden. So legally, they should have all that money returned to them. And then if they want, then they can donate it to Kamala if they want. But they're not going to do that. Right? They're just going to take the money and they're just going to shift it to Kamala from Joe, which is illegal actually, but they're doing it because, Democrats. But yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe she's not the sacrificial lamb. Maybe they really, really want her to win and they're really going to push hard and we're going to see. I mean, I do think they're going to pull out every stop. I do think they're going to do everything in their power to win, of course. But I also don't think they wanted to sacrifice anybody because anybody good, because she is the worst. I don't know. Is there somebody worse, Jason, that you can think of?
Pocahontas.
Would there be somebody?
Who else off of my brain?
Anybody with a chance.
Well, with a chance?
You think Elizabeth Warren had a chance to run for president? I don't know if she had a chance.
Hillary would have been. Trump would have stomped her again.
Yeah, maybe. Hillary? Do you think
Newsom? I think Newsom. I think he would have killed Newsom too. Like he would have beat Newsom as well.
Right, but more than Kamala, I feel like Kamala's the easiest one.
I think
of all of them.
I think I think Kamala gets the full support of the party, the Democrat Party. I think everybody's in line now. I think the base, everybody. I think they're all
I
think she does that.
You've seen how obvious the flip is. The flip, it's been like so hardcore where suddenly she's like, I mean, it's all manufactured.
But think about it. Chris.
Yeah.
Like that side, all they care about is color, and all that stuff. So she hits all the boxes. She checks all the boxes. So they're all
well, okay, that's the obvious thing. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So all the Democrat voters, they're like, okay. Let's see. Yeah, she's Black, Indian, female. Maybe she's a closet lesbian. Who knows? So
I've been going through and checking her gaffes. I've been like compiling a bunch. I call it the cringe compilation. I call it the Kamala cringe compilation. And I'm going through and I'm checking out all her gaffes. I'm checking out all of her like weird things that she's done and said. And you know what the one consistent thing I've noticed about her is? Her voice is terrible. She has got the worst voice.
Yes.
I went on my buddy Gary's show the other day, and as soon as I got on the show, I go, Gary Franchi. And he goes, Mr. Reagan, the voice of 1,000 alpha males. Which I thought was like the best thing I've ever heard. I thought that was brilliant. But she's got a terrible voice. Like if you listen to somebody like Gorka speak, right? The man can command a room like no one I've ever seen in my life just because of his voice is so damn good, right? But even like somebody like Donald Trump, who doesn't have the sort of melodic tones of somebody like Gorka who can run a radio show like he does, Trump speaks in a way that's very dynamic, very interesting. His voice is good. Like his voice has character. His voice is like a very charismatic person, right? You want to talk to Donald Trump. You want to hear him speak. He's got a good way of speaking. Kamala Harris has got one of the most unpleasant tones of voice you've ever. I mean, she sounds like the quintessential Karen. You know, can I talk to the manager? That's what you expect to hear from that voice.
And she's very nasal.
Like,
she's very nasal like that. Like,
oh, she's horrible. The voice is just, she just sounds like a sort of standard California middle-aged woman with nothing about her that is interesting. She's like, you know, a few too many glasses of Chardonnay at the little, you know, the garden party, you know, you know, she's like some rich guy's wife who, you know, she's like a trophy wife that like aged out of trophy wife appearance, but she's still, you know, she's still partying, trying to pretend that she's hot, you know. Oh, she's awful. She's just, you know, she's your buddy's wife that everyone hates, but nobody will tell him that they hate her because, you know, they want to be nice to their friend. That's who she is. She's your buddy's wife that you can't stand, but you kind of tolerate because you like your friend. That's who she is. And everybody sees that and everybody hears that. And it's like, she's put down the one like Grigio woman.
Yeah, she's the one like, is Kamala gonna be there? Yes. Okay. I'll pass.
Yeah. How many times has that happened?
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was listening to some story she told about. She had to talk to the president of, I think, Chase Bank or something like that, right? And all of her staff were like, "Oh, you can't talk to him. He's got like a team of lawyers. He's not going to speak to you. He's just going to put his lawyer on the phone, blah, 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 blah." So she says like, no, get him on the phone. Get him on the phone. This is like in her book, right? And they get him on the phone and he gets on the phone. Like this guy gets on the phone. And a very important guy, very powerful guy. And at this point, I don't know what she was doing. She was like the prosecutor in California or something like that. And she gets him on the phone and then she like took her earrings off to talk to him. And then she writes in the book, because she's an Oakland girl. No, you're not. Okay. You spent your high school years in Montreal, Canada.
Yeah.
Right? You're not an Oakland girl. All right. You're not black. I mean, she's like what? Like she's like 1/16 black or something. She's Indian, right? And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my earrings off and I'm gonna get in a fight with this guy." No, you're not. You're gonna have a phone call. You're probably gonna get obliterated. But you're taking your earrings off to get on the phone like you're some kind of tough chick. She's never been in a fight in her life. Let's be honest. She's never been in a fight in her life. This is such a lie. This is such a sham. Everything about her is phony. Everything about her is fake. I should clip that and I should post it to Twitter. Like, I hate when people pretend that there's something that they're not. And that's the thing about Americans. We all hate that. We all hate the inauthentic, BS, phony, fake charlatans.
But that's what the
deep state. We find it offensive.
But that's what the deep state hates so much about Trump. It's because he's so authentic. He's so real.
He's real. He's a real guy. Yeah, he's a real guy.
They hate about him.
Yeah, true. Hold on, real quick. Christy's Corner jumps in. Thank you, Christy. Thank you for the $5. She says one of the smartest moves she made was to refile with the SEC to Harris for president almost immediately. I don't really know the ins and outs of campaign finance, so I can't tell you. I can't comment on that myself, but I'm going to take your word for it, Christy's Corner. Yes, that was genius. I don't know. I don't actually know. I should probably brush up on my campaign finance law, but they I think they're trying to sort of like, there's certain things that you can't do, right? That you're not supposed to be able to do. Like there was an article, I don't remember where they're talking about how you shouldn't actually be able to replace Biden on the ballots in multiple states, including 3 swing states. And they're going to find a way around that. You know they are. But it should be illegal. But they're going to do it because they're Democrats and they don't care about what the law is.
Since when do Democrats have to go by the law? And since when do they actually pay for things they do wrong or illegal things they do? Never. So there's no accountability. So who cares?
Do you want to go? Do you want to go on to the next news story? Are we not finished with this little diatribe about your theory that they're going to they're going to declare martial law and not even have an election?
We could go to a news story.
All right, let's do this. Share.
By the way, but before you go to that story,
okay. All right. So
the Biden, what got me in the Biden speech? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? He said Supreme Court reform. Supreme Court,
okay.
The buzzword.
Well, they're always talking about that, aren't they?
You see, the Democrats want to corrupt everything.
The courts. Yeah, of course.
They want to corrupt everything. They want to cheat, and that's their way of cheating.
Well,
with the Supreme Court.
I said, they will pull out all the stops. They will do everything they can to get Kamala Harris in there. Even though I do think that they are resigned themselves to. See, now here's the thing about the deep state. Gorka's right in a way, which is that some people within the deep state will do whatever it takes to keep Trump out of office. They don't really care who's president as long as Trump's out. They need one of their people in. It doesn't really matter who it is. Then you've got another half of the deep state who they're not necessarily willing to do things that are quite as corrupt as the other half. And I say half, but it's like this percentage or that percentage. I don't know exactly. But there are different divisions. There's different parties within the deep state. Some of them are willing to do the worst possible things. Others are not. And the ones who are not, I don't even think they know that there are people within the deep state that are willing to do whatever it takes kind of situation, right? So these people that are not willing to do it, I think they actually have resigned themselves to losing. And so in order to appease that group, they have not put somebody in that would potentially be disastrous because, they don't want to destroy a potential candidate for 4 years down the line. So they got to protect those candidates. So I don't think that the deep state, the part of the deep state that is keep Trump out at all costs, I don't think they care that they have a sacrificial lamb in there, right? Because it doesn't matter to them who's president as long as it's somebody that they can control. Yeah. So as long as Kamala Harris is a decent puppet, they'll put her in there by hook or by crook, however they can do it. And then the other part who, I think that there's a faction of the deep state that just thinks of Kamala as a sacrificial lamb. And then there's a segment of the deep state that's like, oh no, she is going to be the next president. I'm going to make sure of that because Trump definitely isn't. Yeah. I think there's multiple factions within the deep state and they are all thinking different things. So the deep state is not one homogenous, some people call it the blob. Some people call the deep state the blob. And it kind of makes sense. But when you call it something like the blob, it gives you this sense that they all think the same way. And I don't think they do. I think there's warring tribes and they all think different things. And but I think that are essentially split into two major factions.
Yeah.
And I think that the faction that is the most dangerous and the most willing to go the furthest, I think they're actually a very small faction, but they are extremely powerful. I think they're probably the most powerful and the most dangerous faction, but they're also a very small faction. That's what I think. That's my theory.
I agree with that. That is
okay.
I agree with that.
I'm actually surprised that you agree with it because it's kind of a very specific speculation with absolutely zero evidence.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. Like the things that have happened in the past, you could kind of put two and two together. Anthony Mark wrote, he says a good thing. Like he brought up a good point. That Ukraine declared martial law and suspended their elections too.
Oh,
so there was a whole during that whole war thing. So they might be learning. The Democrats might be learning from that.
Don't encourage him. Comment section. Don't encourage him. But it's not out of the realm of possibilities. All right, let's look at this article from Breitbart. Newsbusters, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC called Kamala Harris the border czar. Okay, now this is all about how they're now saying that Kamala Harris was never the border czar.
Hold on. I like your the news banner now. It's not Seal.
Oh, the ad? Yeah. It looks you like it because it looks like you. This is like Nikola Tesla, right? And it looks like you, actually. That's kind of funny. Yeah, you and Nikola Tesla look very similar. The establishment media called Vice President Kamala Harris a border czar at least 8 times since President Biden charged Kamala Harris in March 2021 to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming from the migration to our southern border. Well, but here's the thing. So, like, PolitiFact, right, alleged that Harris's designation as border czar was mostly false after she appeared to become the Democrats' de facto presidential nominee, Breitbart News reported. Yeah, the thing is, the left has been going crazy about this border czar title because conservatives keep calling Kamala Harris the border czar, but they called her the border czar first. They came up with it, you know.
Yeah.
And now they're like, let's go ahead and watch. I don't know what this is. You want to watch this? I don't know what this is.
Let's check it out.
Okay, let's check this out.
Joining us here is the Democratic governor from the state of Washington, Jay Inslee. Governor Inslee, thanks for being with us here on this special edition of The Hill. I'll say hi to Ron Klein for you. I know you two are very close. All right, so what she said and what she hasn't said. Why hasn't she talked about taxes? Why hasn't she talked about the border? Why hasn't she talked about immigration?
She's going to do that in her inaugural address, and I can't wait for that. And I can't wait for when she wipes the floor with Donald Trump. When she debates Donald Trump, they're going to have to call it in the second round and throw in the towel. This match between her, a prosecutor and a con man, a person who understands the fundamental challenges and the promise.
You know, I actually want to talk about that. So let's move on. Let's move on from this border czar nonsense. I love this what they're trying to say here. The con man and the prosecutor thing. Oh, and by the way, Gorka comes in and he goes, "All right, that was a good recovery. You're lacking any empirical evidence, but it was pretty slick." Yeah, well, you know, I that's what I think. That is what I think. That's what I think. That's why I say that. But it's good that you get challenged. This is why I love the conservatives. Because Gorka and I can disagree about something. He challenges me and he pushes me to explain and clarify what I'm thinking. Because what I'm thinking isn't completely ridiculous, right? It might be wrong. I might be wrong. But I don't think it's not completely illogical. But I like that he pushes me and he's like, "You're full of crap, Chris. Explain yourself." And then I got to explain myself. I got to think it through, you know? And so I think this is good. And you and I disagree a lot on the show. And I think that's good. I think that's healthy. This is how democracy as they call it, you know, the process, let's say, this is how it should work. This is how it should all work. But we're not allowed to debate anymore because everything we say is racist. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about Kamala Harris real quick and her prosecutor title and Donald Trump's felon title. This is a moment. I wish I had it. I wish I had found this. Maybe you can find it for me, Jason, or somebody in the comments.
Gorka, you need to come back on the show, by the way.
He's amazing, isn't he? Look, there is this new, like, Trump came out at one of his rallies, or I guess this is his last speech or his last rally or something, and he very sarcastically made the point. He's like, they're saying she's the prosecutor and I'm the felon, and he's like, what do they talk like? They manufactured this felony nonsense, and then she's the prosecutor that's, you know, going after the felon, right? He's like, I don't even think the American people are going to buy it. And what Donald Trump is saying is exactly what I've been saying all day today. They think we're stupid. Like, they think we're stupid. They think that when Donald Trump was convicted of the felonies or whatever, the counts of the one felony or whatever it was, that we all went, oh yeah, Trump's a criminal. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, no, there were some really dumb people that did that. But for the most part, even Democrats, I think, were like, so the government really is corrupt. You know, I think most people were thinking that. So when Donald Trump says, I don't think the American people are going to buy that, that's what he means. That's what he means. He doesn't buy the idea that he doesn't think people buy the idea that he's a convicted felon. People really do think this was a show trial. This is politically motivated. This is a kangaroo court. This is not legitimate. And so by pitching her in their campaigns as the prosecutor going up against the felon, he's like, I don't think that's going to work.
But it's not going to work because she has a bad record as a prosecutor. She put innocent people in jail. She put a whole bunch of black men in jail for freaking nothing. You know, why are you doing that? You're just,
they keep reminding everybody that she was an overzealous prosecutor. And they keep reminding everyone that they politicize the justice system to go after Donald Trump illegitimately. Like, this is a terrible, probably the worst strategy imaginable. Sebastian Gorka says he'll come back on next week. Okay, we'll have him on next week. We'll work that out.
Awesome.
Let's see. So Christy's Corner jumps in. She says, oh, no, sorry. I already read that one. I had somehow scrolled up. So
you know what's going on in the chat? Are we done with that one subject?
We can. Yeah, we can move on. Yep.
The chat is saying about Trump debating Kamala.
Okay.
What do you think? I think he shouldn't debate her.
Oh, really? Like whether he should debate her or not? Oh, no. I you know what?
About the debate, that's where I come from. Don't debate her. Why?
Well, strategy-wise, it's probably better not to debate, actually. But man, I want to see it. Because I think
too. Like, I want to see it, but I just feel like giving her that just makes her seem like she is an actual presidential.
Like it legitimizes
candidate.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, it'll be fun because they've got this idea like, she's a ruthless prosecutor, right? I mean, the whole reason she got famous, by the way, if you remember, was the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, right? But like, if you listen to what she says in those hearings, it's actually not very smart. Her presentation's okay. Like the way she talks to him is so effing patronizing and condescending. That was the whole thing. I mean, she was really there for Instagram clicks, right? That's what she was doing. She was doing that. She was doing this show basically for social media. She was just like, how many beers did you have? Did you have one beer? Did you have three? Do you remember the last beer you? Oh, you don't remember beers? Like she was being like a sarcastic bit. That was the whole thing. Just like grilling him on how many beers he had or something. He's like, I don't remember that. She's like, oh, you don't remember? Really? You don't remember? Like this, it was like a Saturday night live sketch or something like that. Man, I really need sleep. Anyway, me and Joe Biden both. Joe Biden maybe needs to sleep for a lot longer than I do, but we both need a little bit of sleep. No, so Kamala got famous for being sort of this like very antagonistic, nasty, but and she did sort of take down Joe Biden at one point, if you remember.
Yeah,
and it wasn't actually even very good, but she did take it down. She was like,
it wasn't.
She was like, you were against busing. I don't know if you remember that, but you were against busing. Well, there was a little girl that was part of the second class of people that were bused at some point somewhere in the country. And you know who was on one of those buses? There was a little girl on one of those buses, and that little girl was me. They like took her a long time to like get.
But you know what the problem with that was? It seemed fake. It didn't. It seemed faked. That was a problem.
Yeah, it was set up for that moment.
Yeah.
And she was like struggling to get there. She was like going through this labyrinth of storytelling to get to the point where she could say, and that little girl was me, right? Like she was like setting it all up to say that. Oh, it was so bad. It was like it was cringe inducing.
So,
but it did have the effect of, taking Joe Biden down a notch. In fact, I don't think anybody at that point, nobody thought Joe Biden could win the nomination. He was just not good at the debates,
Yeah.
And then suddenly he got in by magic because, certainly wasn't because Democrats rigged the primary. That couldn't have been possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Kamala didn't do well in the primaries, but she did kind of okay in those debates, and she did kind of okay, like going after Brett Kavanaugh. So I think people have this illusion that she's going to be really good against Trump. I don't think people really realize how damn good Trump is at debates. He's just damn good.
Yeah. Trump was really good in 2016. I was watching debate clips of Trump. Like somebody put together like all his best clips in 2016, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize how good his tactics were. Back then I thought, he's just telling it like it is. He's not being nice about it. He's not being how do you call it, like caring the way he speaks or anything like that. He's just telling it like it is, and he's hitting these other candidates. I was like, that was such a great strategy, and he did it so well in 2016.
Yeah.
Now I think he's trying to he's not trying to be that person. I think he's trying to be more presidential now. So I don't know how his debate would go off. Now,
look what he did. Hold on. Let's just real quick. Let's recap the debate with Biden. Imagine Biden had been good. Imagine Biden had been good. Donald Trump, one, was super presidential. And
exactly.
And honestly, I think there was a couple of moments where Trump could have really punched Biden, but he held back. I think he intentionally held back.
I mean,
and the reason was because he knew that Biden had been given so much rope that Biden was hanging himself. And Trump was just like,
exactly. He didn't have to say anything. Yeah.
He didn't have to say anything. And so I think that's what happened there. So I do think that he held back, and he was like, you know what? I'll just be as presidential as I can, and you'll see the contrast, right? You see the juxtaposition. But when he did have a moment to punch, there were like 3 moments, right? The first moment was when Joe Biden said something that was like incomprehensible, and Trump goes, I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said. And everybody at home was just like, oh, you know,
that was 2016 Trump right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Trump can, when the moment strikes. I use the word strike. I want to use the word strike later. I kind of effed myself. I painted myself into a corner here. But the point is, when the moment comes, Trump can strike, right? He knows exactly how to do this. There was another moment when Joe Biden goes, you know, we had Medicare, something about Medicare. I don't know. And we killed Medicare or something like that. Or we beat Medicare. He goes, we beat Medicare. We beat Medicare. And Trump's looking at him and he goes, I agree. You beat Medicare. Now, Trump didn't have to say it like that. He could have said, look, obviously he didn't mean to say that, but it didn't make any sense what he just said there. He could have gone after him like that, but he didn't. He sort of twisted around poetically. I agree. You beat Medicare. You beat it to death. And it was such a good moment, you know. And then later on, at the end of the debate, and this one was actually planned, I think, but Trump got it off well. The only reason this wasn't a big moment was because those other 2 moments were so big. But at the end of the debate, nobody remembers this, but he goes, look, I don't want to have to run again. I would love it if you were a good president, but you're a terrible president. So I have to run. And I was just like, whoa, mic drop moment, you know.
Yeah, that was
nobody
great.
else really, you know, jumped on that. But I was just like, that was epic. You know, I think that part was the reason it didn't do as well as the other 2, though, is because that was obviously like a pre-planned thing that he had wanted to say. Whereas the other 2 were like very obviously spontaneous. And Trump can do that. Trump can get those punches in, whether they're pre-planned. He can get those punches in, whether they're spontaneous, whatever it might be. He probably had a few others in the chamber that he just holstered his guns. He was like, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. The guy's already done. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't have to shoot him again, you know? So, so Trump can do it. Trump can do it.
I was watching the best ones were with Hillary Clinton, like, because everybody thought Hillary Clinton was going to just wipe him off the floor with in the debate. And he destroyed her. Like that Trump was, oh man, just people need to go back in jail. Yeah, people need to go back and watch that. They need to search for that, like the clips of that. Somebody brought up a point. Somebody brought up a point. They should have a third person in the debate. Like I guess Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah. Maybe I would say, okay, if that, maybe, but I don't know. Would they team up against Trump, or would him and Trump team up against Kamala?
It doesn't matter. Trump would win, but I like the contrast of just the 2 of them. I like that. Hot Power Concrete and Simplified Crawfish Company jumps in and he says, the debate was a flawless victory. Get over here. That would be hilarious if Trump at the end of the debate just goes, get over here. Kamala Harris is like, I don't understand that reference. No, I don't think Trump would get it either. He's a little too old for.
Yeah, I don't think he should debate. I don't think he should give her that credit. She doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting point, but the thing is, I don't think Trump can back out of the debate without being at least called a coward. They'll call him a coward, and people will believe that. You know.
Well, not if he says she's like not the person that he should be debating against. What did they do to Trump? What did they do to Biden? You know, where's Biden? And you know, this is an illegitimate candidate. You know,
Jason, I think that what you're saying is that actually has merit, but I don't think people will believe it. I think that even though I don't think she deserves to get a debate with Trump, like if it was me, I would do it. I would just be like, fine, you throw her in with me. We'll see what happens, right? We'll fight it out. Because she can't win. I mean, she's not going to win the debate. I don't think there's any chance. I mean, it is a little bit of a risk. I mean, Trump could have a bad night.
The risk is there. The risk is there.
There is a risk, but I think it's necessary. I think he's got to do it. Christy's Corner jumped in again. She said, "I bought 3 new 45 to." Oh no! Oh no! I'm so sorry, Christy. 45 to 47 Trump hats. She goes, 1 for mom, 1 for hubby, 1 for me. Mom wore it to the doctors, and it was so cute, strutting around in her bright red hat. Christy, I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure that Biden's going to resign, and I think Kamala's going to jump in. I think Kamala's going to be 47. She's not going to be elected 47, but I think she's going to be, she's going to have to step into the role in October. I hope I'm wrong. For the sake of your hats alone, I hope I'm wrong.
That is so true.
I hope I'm wrong I hope I'm wrong for several reasons. But think about all the merch. I was talking about this with Gorka. Think about all the merch.
Yeah.
Everybody's got these 47 hats, these 47 shirts. They're all going to be.
I didn't think about that. I never thought about that. Wow.
It sucks. I am so sorry, Christy. I am so sorry. Well, I'm glad you gave us $5, so now we can go buy our 47 hats and then feel like we got gypped when Biden steps down. But anyway, we're having a bit of fun here. You're right.
That's why the merch I get never has that. See, just the ear.
I love it. That's great. I shouldn't put 47 on anything. I love the number 47 though. It's such a good number. It's beautiful. It's like 40. There's a lot of number, like the number 40 shows up a lot in the Bible, right? And then the number 7 shows up a lot in the Bible as well. So 47 is like a combination of 2 biblical numbers. I think it's a good number, 47. I really hope Kamala doesn't take it. What an evil, horrible woman.
Let
me just play real quick.
Anthony wrote again. Mr. Reagan suggested earlier this year that Trump should debate RFK Jr. one-on-one. That might, I read that and then I thought maybe he should just debate RFK and then like screw Kamala, like she's nobody, like the real challenge.
Well, that's what I thought he should do for Joe Biden, because the thing is, Joe Biden, it didn't seem like he was actually going to debate Trump.
Yeah,
like he wasn't committing to debating Trump for a long time. And I was like, well, if he doesn't commit to debate Trump, just have him debate RFK Jr. And then it'll be like Biden's totally irrelevant. I was like such a boss move. I was like, he should do that. But eventually Biden did acquiesce. So I don't think he could do that at that point. Kamala said she will debate Trump. So I don't think you can get away with that anymore. But it is kind of a funny idea. Like Kamala is so easy to beat. I want to fight somebody a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to go after RFK. I think that would be hilarious if he did that. Actually, that'd be smart. Look, listen, I talked a little bit about Kamala pretending that she celebrates Kwanzaa earlier in the show. Let's have a look at that video because it's pretty hilarious. Pretending to celebrate Kwanzaa.
To send my warmest wishes to everyone celebrating Kwanzaa. Like so many other holidays, we will be celebrating Kwanzaa a little differently this season. We'll be doing it over Zoom.
Oh, will you?
My sister and I, we grew up celebrating Kwanzaa.
Oh, did you?
Every year, our family would, in our extended family, we would gather around across multiple generations. And we tell stories. The kids would sit on the carpet and the elders would sit in chairs. And
did they?
And we would light the candles. And of course, afterwards, have a beautiful meal. And of course, there was always the discussion of the 7 principles.
Oh, was there?
And my favorite, I have to tell you, was always the one about self-determination, Kujichagulia.
Oh.
And, essentially it's about, it's about be.
Oh, it's
be
about be.
And do.
It's about be and do.
Be the person you want to be and do the things you want to do and do the things
Kamala moment.
I know.
It's about not letting anyone write our future for us, but instead going out and writing it for ourselves.
Right. It's about seeing what can be, unburdened by what has been. Look,
that was a perfect Kamala moment.
It was a perfect.
I mean, I think she makes this stuff up as she talks. I don't think people write this in. You know, I think she
Dude,
comes up with these dumb things at the
moment. She obviously read through like the Wikipedia article on what is Kwanzaa just before she went on. She was like, okay, okay, great. So I remember when I was a child and the elders would sit around. What is it? We'd have a beautiful meal, and then we would do kakalukahiki. Okay, and it was about to be. It was about to be. Is that right? Oh, yeah, that to be. I mean, it's like so obvious that she had just like memorized this crap just before she went on. This is what we would do. There's even pictures of her celebrating Christmas as a kid, I think, that circulated after that video went viral. It's like she is so phony. So obvious, she's so funny. I don't know. It just cracked me up that I just thought it would be funny to show you guys. All right, Chrissy's corner.
Actually, you know what, Chris? I think Trump should debate her. I think this would be really funny.
Right? It's exactly.
Now that I think about it.
This is going to be the best political show of all time. Oh, my God. Kamala Harris, you are such a joke. But the thing is, here's the reason why she's maybe slightly more dangerous is because she's got like the full force of the Democrat propaganda machine behind her right now. And she's got the best people telling her how to be. And I think she's toning down a lot of the stuff. Like she's not cackling so much anymore. She's not, the word salads have kind of disappeared, it seems like. And what I really noticed, I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I mentioned on this show, but I think I did, is her first speech after she had gotten the nomination, which is crazy that she's.
No, we spoke about this.
Right. She did this whole thing where she did her speech a little bit like Barack Obama. Like she did the whole thing like she was a Southern black woman. I tell you what, we're going to take the middle class and we're going to rise it right on up. Hallelujah. Like she did this whole Southern Baptist black woman thing. I mean, she's an Indian woman that spent her high school years in Montreal, Canada and grew up in California. Yeah. There's nothing Southern black about her. But she's sort of invoking, and not. By the way, there's nothing Southern black about Barack Obama either. He grew up in Hawaii and Indonesia, where I am now, actually. And he had a transgender nanny. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
This is something I discovered only recently. Look it up.
Makes a lot of sense.
He had
makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Anyway, but yeah, so he grew up in this sort of like most sort of West Coast American international. Hawaii.
So,
and then
he ended up marrying his nanny.
Big mic drop. Okay, so no, like the point I'm trying to make is Barack Obama was mimicking Martin Luther King Jr. That's how Barack Obama got, because normally he would talk like an accountant. But then every once in a while, he would bring in these long, drawn-out things. Right? Oh, it's going to be like this. Oh, it's going to be like that. And the reason he did that is because he would watch Martin Luther King, and he would kind of like work out, okay, this is how I should talk. And he is black, so we could kind of get away with it, Kamala Harris isn't even really black, So she's trying to mimic half-black Barack Obama, who is trying to mimic Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah. So it's like a phony mimicking a phony.
Yeah, we spoke about this, and I told you that that she probably has all of Obama's team behind her, telling her, you're going to be the female version of Barack Obama. We spoke about
this, not on this show, but we spoke about this privately.
That they're trying to make her the female version of Barack Obama.
Right, but so I don't like that you pinned that to this, because it sounds like they're instructing her to try to sound like Obama, which I don't think they're doing. I think remember what we spoke. I said she's the one that probably thought like listening. Go ahead. Right. This is one of the most brilliant observations that you've ever made. So allow me to sing your praises for just a moment, because normally I'm cutting you down and telling you you're stupid.
Yeah.
But this, but it's all right.
True.
You get me
Very
back.
True.
You get me back. You get
Very
me back.
True.
But no. You had this brilliant observation. You said what I think's going on is Obama and his team are trying to sculpt Kamala into a great politician like Barack Obama was, right? You should have this policy, those policies. You should talk like this. You should do this. But the one thing that I said probably she's not, they didn't necessarily want her to do, is actually try to embody the charisma of Barack Obama. Like she needs to adopt her own style. But what you thought is probably she heard "be more like Barack," and she took that really literally.
Yep.
And she actually started literally like watching his speeches and going, "Oh, I could talk like that. I could talk like that."
Yeah.
You know. And she actually adopted the speaking style herself. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right. That is actually probably what happened. She is that dumb.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Let's see here. Logan Darklighter, who I haven't seen in a while, but you used to do the show. You used to be on the Super Chats all the time. So it's good to see you, man. He says, Kamala's mouth got her where she is today. And sometimes she even speaks. I can't. I don't know if I can't handle this show anymore. You guys are hilarious. That's too fucking funny, man.
I was gonna say something about it's too rated R, so I'm just gonna avoid that. I don't want my son seeing this in the future.
That is comedy gold. All right. Speaking of comedy gold, I want to play for you one of the dumbest gaffes. I don't know what year this was. I guess I'd have to click in there. But this is, I thought it was like just the other day, because this is the first time I've seen this. But this is one of the worst gaffes I've ever seen from a politician. This is and she was like in the demilitarized zone in Korea, I believe, when she said this. Hold on, let's have a look at this. I posted this on X. I shared it. Somebody else had posted it, and I shared it. Let's have a look at this.
So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is an alliance that is strong and enduring. So
Okay. I understand making mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But the vice president saying that we have an enduring relationship, an alliance with North Korea. I mean, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad.
She's young, you know. She's that's
I think she's
a
older
Biden
than me.
moment right there. That's a Biden moment right there. Like, I mean,
you expect it from Biden. You expect
yes.
Excuse me. If Biden said it, you'd kind of go, all right, it's Biden. He's got like Alzheimer's or something, like whatever. But yeah, that's just like pure idiocy. This is like AOC level stupidity right here.
You know, I wouldn't have caught it because I almost didn't catch it, but because her voice is so annoying, it's like that's what I'm focused on. The annoying voice, like, man. See, this is what I'm saying about can possibly be the future president of the United States of America. This is how far we've gone. It's embarrassing.
This is our Democrat nominee, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. This is our Democrat nominee. It's pretty crazy. All right, let me play another one. This was just really funny. This is actually something that one of my ex-girlfriends sent me weirdly on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, this is funny. This is funny." So I have to share this with you guys. Hold on. Let's go ahead and play this here.
Had to do it. So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
So this is obviously like the caption is this is from the woman's perspective. When you ask your boyfriend why he's marrying you and you expect a romantic reply, but he's like,
so somebody had to do it. Okay. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
I mean, it's dumb. Okay, it's a dumb joke, but the reason I wanted to post that is because like the stuff that Donald Trump says is just so memeable. Like he's a gold mine of memes. You know what I mean? Yep. He's just too funny. This guy.
Very true.
There's another. I could go ahead and post this other one. This is pretty funny as well. This is actually a friend of mine. Weirdly, okay. So this girl's name's Jax, and Jax is a pretty successful musician. Back in the day in Los Angeles, we used to go to parties together, and me and her boyfriend, and at the time, my ex-wife, the four of us would play like beer pong, and we just had a grand old time. She's actually a really awesome girl. but she does this thing on Instagram and TikTok where she makes these like sort of joke songs. She makes these little jokey songs. And this one she made with the Hawk Tuah girl. But I thought this was quite funny and a bit adorable, so I thought I'd play it for you guys.
This is Haley, and she went to the University of Northern Alabama, but she had to drop out to pay the bills and take care of my grandma. And then she went viral, so she made some cash, but Granny keeps asking her what Hawk Tuah means, so we wrote this song for Haley's grandma to explain myself to the elderly. Hawk Tuah means being selfless. Hawk Tuah means you care. Hawk Tuah is another word for hard work, like rolling up your sleeves and tying back your hair. Hawk Tuah means love and affection. Hawk Tuah means we're in a recession, Grandma. Stop asking so many questions.
I just thought that was hilarious. Yeah, I'm not gonna comment too much on that. But follow Jax. She's great. She's not really on Twitter, I noticed.
It's funny because there's like a meme that Kamala Hawk Tuah her way to presidency.
Yeah, somebody used like an AI like voice generator to like make her say the Hawk Tuah thing. Yeah, it's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But okay, let me.
How did you get to become president? Nomination for president.
Oh,
you got a Hawk Tuah. You got a Hawk Tuah on that thing.
You don't need to reproduce it for the audience. Come on, they can go find it. All right,
maybe somebody will meme me now. Maybe I'll go viral for saying it.
Yeah, exactly. One more thing, real quick. This is a buddy of mine, another guy that I'm that I admire, and a gentleman that I've met, and he occasionally has mentioned me on his show, and we've I text occasionally, but he doesn't respond very often, which is
the problem.
Annoying.
Is when he talks, I can't understand him. It's just too intelligent.
The British accent, is too intelligent. Carl Benjamin, this is Sargon of Akkad. If you've ever, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I can tell you from experience. We were at some kind of conference together, and one of his fans came up to him, and he literally spent like 3 hours talking to this fan. And I was just like, and the guy was like a little bit of a weird guy. Not Carl, but the fan was. And he wasn't bad. Like, he wasn't a bad guy. Like, I would have been willing to hang out with a fan for that long, probably. But I just thought, man, this guy, Sargon of Akkad, he's such a gentleman. He just like, I don't have anything better to do. I might as well just hang out with this fan for 3 hours. And we literally just sat there having coffee and talking to this guy who was a huge fan of Sargon. And I kept going, I'm kind of famous too, buddy. He's like, yeah, who cares? Sargon, No, it was fun. It was great. It was fun. But I just thought, man, this guy is he's just a really cool guy. He's just such a generous gentleman is what he is. But let's go ahead and listen to what he says about Kamala and this whole, what he calls Kamala mania, right? This whole like obsession with Kamala Harris now, this gaslighting that she's the greatest thing in the world.
All of this bigging up of Kamala Harris is so fake.
Bigging up, he says, bigging up. This is something that is commonly said in Britain. We don't have this expression in America. It just means like talking up, making somebody sound amazing. Okay.
It's so fake. It's so unbelievably astroturfed. It's so disingenuous and obviously not how people really felt, because only a few years ago, Kamala Harris was an embarrassment. Kamala Harris, one of the least popular candidates in the Democratic primary of 2020. We know you don't like her. We know that she is a cop. Do you not remember the Kamala is a cop meme? She is a cop. Yeah. She is absolutely a cop. Yeah. She absolutely did all of the things the Republicans are saying about her, like keeping black men in jail and withholding evidence and whatnot. She has got a sordid history of how she got into politics, and she's totally vapid. She knows she's a seat filler. She is a jobber. She is someone who's just trying to climb the greasy pole. Don't pretend.
I love that term.
Like she's your girl and you love her. We know you don't. We know you don't.
Yeah.
Honestly, Trump is going to win this bigly.
Yeah. Sometimes he just puts things in a way that nobody else can, right? Like, for whatever reason, I don't know what is like how his brain works, but sometimes he expresses ideas in a way that like I don't think anybody else can express it better. Maybe me, but most people can't. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. No, he's a brilliant guy, really brilliant.
The
Go
point he brings up is good. Not only that, not only a few years ago, the whole White House and everything silenced her because when she was going out talking and doing speeches, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to Biden. It was embarrassing to everybody. So they cut her off. They silenced her. Notice how she was never in public anymore. So you don't even have to go that far. A few years ago, it just happened recently, and now
I wouldn't even say a few years ago. Like she did sort of like quiet down during the campaign. She wasn't quite so public because she was an embarrassment. I don't know who went and talked to her, but somebody was like, "You've got to shut up and like stop talking to the media, stop doing press conferences, because you are an embarrassment." They kind of like hid her in the basement for a while, which was actually quite smart. One last thing, the most important thing probably of this entire show, Jason, this is my Mr. Reagan merch. This is my fight t-shirts. This is my fight mugs. The great thing about this stuff, by the way, you guys, is if you click on something, like let's go ahead and click on this. You can pick your color, obviously, whatever color you like. It should change at some point. But then you can come down here and you can go, you know what? I don't want that. I want the mug. And you can click on the mug. You get that.
Or I want that and a mug.
Exactly. Or you slide over here and you go, oh, I could have a phone case. Or I could have a beach towel. That's a sports towel, whatever. But
nice.
Yeah, you can get all kinds. I made all kinds of merchandise. So you get all kinds of stuff. Some of these are just like paintings for the wall. I mean, it's $31.99 is a bit of a ripoff, but you can buy all my overpriced merch. I got this old 80s Reagan ad that I made into a Trump ad. That's kind of a cool one, right? I got art things. This looks like The Godfather. I don't know why, but if you want any of this stuff, please buy it and give me some money because I'm poor. So anyway, so then I go begging for money. The last thing that I do during the show. No, but I love that stuff. I actually don't make that much money on the merch, but I just produce the stuff because I figure like we have to commemorate Trump in that moment. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of good at designing stuff. So when something like that happens, I feel like like the reason I made those sort of artistic images of Trump is because I felt like on the right, we don't have enough like art. We have stuff that's like very sort of tacky, which a lot of people like that stuff. You know what I mean? Like think about like MMA, all that gear. It's all kind of tacky looking stuff, but conservatives like that kind of stuff. I'm sort of in the minority where I'm like, oh, you know what? We need to refine our art on the right. Like my parents make fun of me and stuff. But I like that stuff. So that's why I created it. I think that image, the fight image is going to be so iconic for the rest of time. I think that's a kind of a cool t-shirt to have. So, hopefully you guys think so too, and you buy some of that at my Teespring site, which is in the description below. Jason, do you have anything to say? Because we got 20 minutes, but
no,
we could give it up early. We could leave early.
I think this was a great show.
I think it was a great show. We love the guys in the chat. Everybody who said anything in the chat, whether it be in the super chats or the regular chat. You guys are geniuses. Okay, you guys are brilliant. You guys say some awesome stuff, except when you disagree with me and you agree with Jason. Then you're an idiot. But
which is a lot of times, but
too often actually. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Recently, Jason's gotten a lot smarter. I don't know what happened. He's got better ideas than I have. It's annoying the hell out of me.
I think it's the Adderall and all the stuff that's
you got Adderall now.
I'm doing what Biden's doing, so it works.
Fair enough. That's a lie. He's not on Adderall. All right, guys. That's going to be it for us. Thank you so much for joining the show. And remember, it's not that all liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much that is not so. Good night.